Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today I want to go over a very controversial standpoint. What's wrong with the modern convention? Okay, and so a lot of people out there, especially the newer people, are going, "Well, I just went to an anime convention. There's nothing I could see that's really wrong with it. I'm sure there's some things that I thought was better than others, and I enjoyed myself and did lots of cosplay and whatever. I didn't see anything wrong with the convention. Well, I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I'm going to go over what conventions were like, and then sort of compare that with how conventions have now become, and and sort of see what the difference between and how much the downward decline of anime conventions, and basically what we're being fed or what we're being brainwashed to being the standard for conventions has just gone down. And I'm going to show you that in the next video. So before we begin, don't forget to go down below, click like and click subscribe, and then you get into more videos that I'll be doing going through the anime list. Of course, got some more videos and interviews coming up, so make sure you want to get subscribed for that. Also, I've just now activated my my thanks and my Patreon account. So again, if you really particularly enjoy an episode, you got a little extra, then sure, there's a thanks button down below, as well as the link to the Patreon account down below, and you can actually get more content that I can't put on YouTube here in this special way. So I've got special subscribers content available for you as well. Okay, so you'll check those out. Okay, so so today's topic is what is wrong or what has gone wrong with the local and modern convention. And I sort of came across this when I sort of came across this old Anime Expo '96 guide. So this is like a couple of years now, where they've done I think this is the 5-year anniversary for Anime Expo, because as I said, I went to Anime America, which is like the con that sort of appeared beforehand back in '91. So it's '96. So this is now their 5th year going, and it goes over different things that occurred in the convention, and it also gives you a strong indication of what good conventions were like, and what anime conventions were the standard to be. Okay. And then I went and just recently had a look at our own Anime Revolution convention that's here in Vancouver, and I just realized just how how poor that convention is, and just how just how much the convention itself, the convention experience itself has declined, and what has it gone to, and we're being basically told that this is the the best convention. This is the premier kind of convention that we're getting. Whether it's Western Canada, whether it's in the West, or whether in the South, or whatever, or in the state of whatever. These are the best or the premier kind of conventions, right? And so we're being told that they're supposed to be the best of the best of these type of conventions. But when we compare them to what they were, they're nowhere near what they should be. And I'm going to show you that some experience and that kind of stuff, and how things are, and why they've gone this way. Okay, so let's go and look at a couple pages, starting from this book here, the '96 Anime Expo, just to give you an idea of how conventions used to be like. Okay. I'm taking a look at this book. It's the Anime Expo 1996 program guide. Okay, it's the 5th anniversary, so it's the 5th convention that they're running. Okay, and I'm just going to flip ahead to the guests of honor page. Okay, now one of the reasons that you go to a convention, you pay the $100 or whatever, is because of the guests, right? There's basically obviously famous people, especially hopefully of the industry that you want to go and see, and so let's give it an idea of what kind of guests were available back in '96. So right on the very front of this list, you can see there is Hideki Anno. Okay, so he's the one that works on things like Macross, Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind, He did the Daikon. He is the member of Gainax, okay? Gunbusters, Nadia, Talking About Video, Wings of One Minutes, and of course, in this case, he was there for Neon Genesis Evangelion. And the key words written here is Neon Genesis Evangelion, his latest hit series, which he wrote and directed and will be soon released in the US by AD Vision. Okay, very important. What else is on there? There's Noboru Ishiguro, okay? Again, you look at his bottom the talents here. He's known for Astro Boy, Legend of Galactic Heroes, Future Boy Conan, Megazone 23, Orgus, Macross, Record of Lotus Wars, right? Yoshiki Kawajiri, okay? Wicked City, Midnight Goku, character design for Cyber City Oedo, The Lensman, Demon City Shinjuku, right? Hiroyuki Kitsuzami, okay, one of my favorite, character designer for Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta Gundam, Charles Counterattack, Heavy Metal Elgime, Aurora Battler Dunbine. Keep going down the list here. Toshiko Nishikiburo, okay? He's worked on production things for like Miyuki, Zillion, Shurato, Heaven Boy Shurato, one of my favorite ones that he did. Video Girl I, Pat Labor to the movie, Ghost in the Shell, and he's part of the production IG group, right? And that's only just the first page, okay? So I flip on to the second page, right? And here we got Koichi Otada. He's mecha designs for MD Geist, the Dangayo, Aim for the Top, Borgman, Macross 2, Pat Labor OVA series, Charge Counterattack, Energy Knight, Lamune, and the 40. Just, there's lots of great stuff here. Aya Kasa, okay? Voice actress, okay? She does Ryoko and Cutie Honey and Three with Three Eyes, Blue Seed, Muki-chan, Dirty Paper Flash, Please Save My Earth, Mobile Suit Gundam 080, Gundam Wing, okay? Now, the important part is, written right at the very bottom here, Miss Orikasa is appearing at Anime Expo courtesy of Pioneer Entertainment. Very important to note that little clause there. Mamoru Ishii, right? Best known in the fans as the director of Ghost in the Shell. Pat Labor 1, Pat Labor 2, the Pat Labor OVAs, Urasatsura, the TV series, plus the two movies Beautiful Dreamer and Only You. Another big cravat right here. Mr. Oishi is appearing at Anime Expo courtesy of Manga Entertainment. Very important note. Konichi Sonoda. Ah, yes, one of our favorite, right? Best known for Gunsmith Cats, Riding Bean, Golf Force, Bubble Boom Crisis, okay, right? And then, of course, the other cravat. Mr. Sonoda is appearing at Anime Expo courtesy of AD Vision. And then right at the very end there, Yumi Takada. Okay, she's the voice actress. She does, again, Tenchi Muyo, for Princess Mew, or Battler Dunbine, Orgus, Ranma Half, Mazinger, okay? And then right at the very bottom, another big cravat. Miss Takada is appearing at Anime Expo courtesy of Pioneer Entertainment. So you can see that they've got some pretty high-powered starred guests. But the reason why they're getting these high-powered star guests is because the companies are sponsoring and paying the money to get these guests over. Okay? Now, you're probably going, well, no, I mean, we have regular conventions, and we got, some voice actors coming in and some people coming in. Well, how bad could that be? Well, you see, you got to realize that these guests, when you get them in, they require not only, all the extra time to book them in and that kind of stuff. You got to require the time to actually, book them out, get them planes and accommodations and stuff all ready for them. And of course, these people are flying business class, okay? So you're not putting them in coach, okay? So, there's quite a bit of money, tied up there and just to get them over here. Then, of course, when they get to the hotel, of course, there's got to be multiple stars on that hotel, right? They're going to get, the premier suite. You've got to pay for their meals and that kind of stuff while they're here. Obviously, they're going to be, part of, you have to be entertained too, right? Because, and a lot of these guests are staying for multiple days, right? I see that in some of the recent conventions, some of these guests only appear for like one day. Like, Saturday, for example, is a very popular thing. And they're only there for, one panel, one autograph session for like an hour, and then they're gone, right? So, you know, and that's probably because the convention itself cannot handle and will not pay the big money required to get these people. Okay, now you may ask, well, why is that? I mean, can't we, we're paying $100, per person to get into these conventions. Can't we just, get, 100 people to pay $100 each just to get these people in here? Well, yeah, that'd be great. But the thing is that, most of these conventions only have, let's say, 1,000 to 2,000 people attending them. Okay. Right. So you got to think how much money is required to, do these conventions. And that's part of the reason why you can't get these big guests. Now, the other thing is you also got to realize is that, okay, well, if you get one of these guests over, especially with one of your favorite guests, like let's say for example Kenichi Sonoda, right? As a person that's working at the convention or stuff, man, you would want to spend some time with this guy. Find out what he likes and take and do things with him, and spend some time. Take him out to dinner, and also entertain him too. So I flipped the page onto another few things here, and they show in here that certain guests that come over to the convention, they'll take them out to the gun range. So can you imagine that, right? Here a person, like Kenichi Soda, does animes like Bubble Crisis and Riding Bean and that kind of stuff, all with guns and that kind of stuff, in a country where guns are illegal, right? And all of a sudden you get this offer, hey, why don't you come to this convention, Anime Expo or whatever, we'll pay for your ticket, we'll pay for, your accommodations and that kind of stuff. And while you're over here, hey, one of the things that we're going to get you to do for you is we're going to take you out to a gun range, and then you can fire guns, like real guns. I mean, hey, that's a thing that will, attract and bring those kind of people over. Offer to do things and take them out things. Now again, this is going to cost money, like convention time, money. Of course, you'd probably want to do that. I mean, it'd be pretty cool to take an anime guest or that kind of stuff to one of your favorite places or whatever, and book some time to do something, something cool like going to a gun range. But this is the type of thing that real guests and that kind of stuff you'd want to do with them. And again, the modern convention, won't have the staff allocation nor the money allocated to do this kind of stuff. They just won't be able to. And as the common saying goes, you just got to follow where the money goes. And modern day, especially after the anime crash, the money's just not there. Anyways, I just wanted to point that particular part out and just show you those little points in this particular book. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to point out, and just flipping ahead here, is the other reason you would want to go to the convention is to go see the dealer's room, to see what's available, what you can buy from the dealer's room, right? The vendor's hall, right? Now, that's another reason why you don't want to spend some money to go to these things so you can get all your various different materials. Now, I guess, obviously in the modern day, with globalization and that kind of stuff being available, you can get all your stuff online nowadays, of course. But as you can see, when I just pull up the menu on this thing here, the dealer's room map is not really that much bigger than most, anime conventions nowadays. It's probably about the size of a ballroom, maybe like a small gym. The convention floor for the dealer's room is not all that big. It's roughly about 4 rows, and there's about 10 vendors on each row. So it's not horribly large. It's hotel sort of ballroom, kind of a gymnasium gym kind of size room, right? So it's not really big, thing. And of course, I know that a lot of modern conventions, they're like massively huge. Obviously, if you're talking like San Diego Comic-Con, even just absolutely massive, like 27 aisles of convention booths, right? But so this is not obviously a very big convention room. But the key thing is, if you look onto the right-hand side there, the list of people that are there, you may note that most, if not, I'd say maybe like 80% of the list are commercial vendors. Okay, so these are actual, you know, companies like AD Vision, Pioneer, Bandai, actual, commercial anime companies who are there to basically represent and to deal your various different set of products. Okay, there's also a lot of actual names of companies. So these are like probably like stores and anime companies selling actual anime. Okay, and of course, during in the modern convention, if we flip over to one of those, then that's not the case. We don't seem to have very many real anime, you know, either representatives from anime like companies or actual companies selling their stuff at an anime con, because again, it's not worth it anymore. Like it's the amount of people, the amount of advertising that dollars that are used for promotion of different animes and that kind of stuff. They're just not getting it from most anime conventions anymore. Okay, so they just don't show up at anime conventions anymore. And so when the conventions are trying to set up their room or convention room, vendor room, shall we say, they don't have people and stores and companies willing to pay that kind of money, $800,000 or whatever for a table, in their vendor room. Okay, no one wants to pay that anymore because they know that they're not getting their return for their money. Or it's very difficult to get the return on the money when you're paying that much for like a table in these kind of conventions. So they just stop showing up to them. And so the conventions now have to find somebody else to fill that space. And what do they fill it up with? Artist alley people, because they're the cheapest people to get, and they're probably the easiest to get. They also get a lot of people which are not anime related, but maybe anime fans might be interested in their products. Okay, and that's all right. It's a promotion type of thing. Okay, but now we're getting into things like where anime conventions used to be kind of a place you go to learn and get about more things about anime and that kind of stuff. So it'd be like, let's say, like an E3 or something, right? Where you'd go there, you try to find out what all the new video games and all the new sort of electronics kind of coming out for video games and that kind of stuff. That's where you'd go to find out, something like an E3 for anime, right? But now all those companies and that kind of stuff that would normally do that kind of stuff aren't interested in coming to a convention and that kind of stuff. They don't have the advertising dollars to do that. So that kind of convention, cannot exist anymore, or they can't set that kind of a dealer's room for it. So now they're just replacing it with other content that they can find people randomly that will willing to put their stuff in. And again, that may be things like people who are just interested in, for example, recruiting, like job recruiting. People in the business sector looking for job creation markets and that kind of stuff. You get people that are advertising different sort of entertainment functions, maybe some like escape rooms or parachuting or bungee jumping. Maybe there'll be some people who are advertising foods and drinks and alternative health care and that kind of stuff. Obviously, there's always the people that always sells weapons, swords and whatnot, knives and that kind of stuff. There's also sort of like adventure places, like tours and that kind of stuff, adventure guides and that kind of stuff, trails and whatnot. And so, while it may not be pertaining to anime, these people are willing to pay some money for the advertising, the exposure to get to the people that are, quote, anime fans. Maybe they might be interested in their kind of thing that they're doing. And that is what the dealer's room is sort of changing into. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to the Anime Revolution that we just recently had in this year, just in the beginning of August here. And we're just going to compare what the dealer's room sort of looks like on a modern convention as compared to this, to this previous one. So here's we're at the Vancouver Convention Center, and they've set up in the large, one of the large, convention rooms at the convention center. And you can see the layout of the dealer's room. It's roughly about 9 rows, approximately 8, maybe up to maybe 11 or so sort of booths per row. Okay, we have a delineation of what they refer to as the dealer's room area, vendor's area, which is in blue, and sort of the artist quote alley in green. Now, this picture is very, very deceiving in the sense that a lot of artists are actually still in the blue section. Okay. Now, what I'll also point out is that you can see there are maybe 4 or 5 sort of large blocks in the blue area. Okay, those would be designed for larger commercial displays. Like those would be those would be normally the people like your Bandai's, your AD Vision, and that kind of stuff. In this particular case, one of them is the right at the front entrance is the Anime Revolution, merchandising thing. So basically self promotion. Okay. So, that doesn't really count as a vendor, but all right, well, fine. We'll just, it's considered to be one, so we'll just say 4. The other larger area is obviously the one that they had for Crunchyroll, so good, a good, commercial vendor, okay? But the real truth becomes when you look down at the actual listing of who's actually in this convention role. So we'll just kind of roll ahead here, and you can see. Okay, so I'm going to go down the vendors list here, okay, just to sort of give you an idea what I was talking about and what I see on the list here. So we got, obviously some shops like the Peachy Shop, okay, Fantasy Soap Works, okay, again, try to be creative with soap, right, wellness. They got Janice C. and Daniel C., okay, artists, okay, Core Games, okay. There's an actual, my friend Paul over there in his game shop with, Magic, Pokemon, and a lot of gaming and that kind of stuff. So there you go, good. That's the type of vendor you want. Vancouver Animation School, all right. So obviously out to try to recruit students, right? Gabby Rose Art, okay. So more art. Crunchyroll, there's your a commercial vendor there, right off the bat there. That's good. Twin Bells Dojinshi Gifts. That's the perfect idea. There you go. The paper canvas. Okay, there you go. There's another. The SFU, the Simon Fraser University Anime Club. All right, self promotion there, but that's okay. I mean, that's an anime club. Optimum Paintball. Okay, all right. Just let's try to find some alternate, interests there. There's a gallery panda, so there's more artwork. Anime baby. Okay, name designs, okay, digital printing, okay, so this is like, I guess this is where you go and get your prints of your doujinshi made. Okay, AME Toys Gift Store, that's good, there you go. Toy Manila, okay, Sarah O, an artist, okay. Red Moon Glassworks, okay, so another creator artist using glass, okay, great. The Art of Michael C. Hayes, okay, an artist, okay, ages 3 and up, okay, that's another toy store, okay, great, that's, those are the type of people you want in these places, right? Neo Financial, okay, so this is what, trying to get people to sign up for, like I said, financial services, maybe, cards and that kind of stuff, right? Fire and Steel, okay, that was your, knife and blades stuff, right? Samsung's art, okay, there's another art person. Miguel was another art person, okay. Yoro Soya Toys and Entertainment, okay, good. Cecilia L, an artist. C. Whitlock, another artist. Mando Bricks Toys and Collectibles, okay, good. Collectors Inc., good. Lumitan and Tanya Y and Kyoko and Friends, okay. Milk Mocha Bar. These are people that are making stuff to sell, okay. They're Sabrina O, okay. Chasing Artwork, okay, and the very bottom here, Drift Academy Limited, okay, which is basically that you can go driving in a drifting type car, and then you can basically experience what drifting in a performance car is like, okay. I mean, this is more of these alternate entertainment things, and these are your official vendors, all right. There's like 50 on this list, and about half of them are not actually real vendors, they're actually artists. Okay? And then we continue further down the list. There's another about the same number of people listed as small press. Okay? So you got about another 40 people listed as small press. So these are all your small little independent artists and doujinshis and that kind of stuff. Okay, and then your third column is your actual artist, quote artist alley, if you will. Okay, people who make stuff on their own or whatever. And this list is twice as long as the actual vendors list. Okay, so by this tally, using these information on the sheets that there, basically you have 50 vendors, okay, which are listed as a vendor, but only about 25 of them are actual store selling or businesses selling actual merchandise. The rest of them are artists or artisans, if you will, doing kind of stuff. All right. 40 names are on this list as small press, okay, making small magazines, books, that kind of promo type of kind of stuff for that. There are about 100 names on the artist alley section, okay, and then at the very bottom there's an extra 30 names of single solitary one-day artists, okay, so they're only there for one day, but they get to sit there for 1 day, so out of 30, okay? So that gives you a total of 220 different vendors and artists and that kind of stuff. And of them, 25 of them are actual real stores, vendors, and that kind of stuff, okay? So not even 10%, okay? 1 out of every 10 vendors in this hall will actually be selling legit kind of merchandise or promoting some kind of other real products. Okay, everybody else is basically selling you homemade stuff or bootleg stuff. Okay, where we contrasted from the previous convention sheet, even though you only had maybe 40, 50, 60 vendors, okay, but all these guys are selling legitimate stuff. They're selling authentic Japanese material. They're commercial companies promoting, Japanese animation stuff. Okay, as opposed to people, basically, infringing on copyright, basically making use of other people's intellectual property and profiting off of that. Okay, and this is what basically the conventions have gotten into. All right, so I hope you found that a very, sort of a different perspective of and a new, fresher perspective of how to go to anime conventions and stuff. And again, a lot of you new people have not experienced what an older convention is like, or have been to very large conventions to know, that sort of experience. And of course, if you just all you've been to is your local convention, well, that's what you've got, right? And you know that there's a lot more out there. And there's a whole different experience out there, even in modern day. There's still things that you can sort of experience and see at a different convention in a different town or in a larger arena. But I think in general, showing you all the different things that have sort of transpired with finances and the whole entire the way that globalization has worked. The experience of the convention has changed. The purpose of a convention has changed. Okay, and it's no longer that same experience or as good as it used to be. In terms of the shall we say the benefits of going to the convention, because as I said, the prices and what you would pay to go to a convention has gone up. Okay, so you are now paying more. You're doing, and you're putting more down, to go to these conventions. Yet you're probably getting less stuff out of the convention. Okay, because as I said, what you would have paid through in the past. Okay, obviously, you could do so much more things. There's more content. There's more things that you would be able to have access to and whatnot. And that has not gotten better, or it has improved. It's actually probably gotten worse. You're getting less, good content. You're getting, less availability of things, and there's less things for you to do at the actual convention. Even though you've done all the things that you could do, i.e., set yourself up for meetups and do cosplay and all this other stuff. But in the same thing, you're paying more money to do that and getting less out of the convention. And I think that's one of one of the sort of the cons of going to a convention nowadays, I guess. And we've accepted that, and who knows what else more that we will accept as the decline of conventions and that stuff continue. We'll see what happens. Don't forget to check out my other videos. I want to talk about some of the conventions and show you pictures from things like the San Diego Comic Con. And again, I got some more pictures and videos of that kind of stuff from the other local conventions. I'll make some more videos to put those up and show you what conventions were like in the more not so recent past. Okay, so don't forget to get subscribed to make sure you get to watch those ones. All right, so. Until next time, see you again.